What's going on, guys? Indy here with Ultimate 2 Reviews, and I've got a selection of Makita impact drivers right in front of me. Now, of course, this isn't going to be every single Makita impact driver out there. I think Makita, of any brand, makes just the most impact drivers, the widest array of impact drivers possible, which is actually pretty cool because they generally make some of the best impact drivers on the market. They're well known for being very smooth, comfortable, and ergonomic, and of course, very durable. Now, I've got these actually in order right now from cheapest to most expensive. That doesn't actually mean that they're going to be in order from worst to best, not at all. We're going to go through the impact drivers. I'm going to let you guys know which one is going to be the best for just like heavy duty professional use, and which is going to be good for just more of a value oriented tool. So let's check this out. All right, let's start here on the left side. This is going to be the Makita DT03. This is going to be one of the 12-volt options from Makita. This is a great, just very light-duty impact wrench. Not very powerful, not very fast. It is a brush tool. The big pro about this one impact driver, though, is it's extremely cheap. You can pick these up on eBay for under $60 all day long. The batteries themselves are also extremely cheap. They charge quite fast, and they're readily available online, pawn shops. You can buy these new with a impact and a drill for right around $100 during a lot of the sale times at Home Depot. But most Home Depots don't carry the 12-volt impacts from Makita, which is not, that uncommon because this is not a very popular 12-volt line. Makita, unfortunately, does not show a lot of love towards a lot of their 12-volt tools. A lot of their 12-volt tools that are brushless are unfortunately, if not more expensive, or sometimes even the same price as a lot of the tools behind me. So they're really not, that advantageous to really go for. But it's a great tool if it's looking for a light duty use. This is one of my wife's favorite tools. She loves using it for doing furniture work, and of course, around the house stuff. It's a great little tool for doing that. And I would say that is about it. It's really not designed for anything medium duty, heavy duty, not at all. Just very light duty work. Kind of treat it like it's just more of a glorified screwdriver is really that's all it's useful for. All right, here's one of the latest Makita impact drivers, the XGT19. Now, this is going to be known as the TD172 in the rest of the world, whereas the TD173 has now replaced it. And the big difference there is they now put the control panel on the back here. So unfortunately, I don't have one of those just yet. I'm kind of waiting for the US version or for them to get a bit cheaper, because you can actually pick up the Japanese XGT impacts for cheaper than you can pick up the LXT newest version of the 173. So I really don't want to pay the price for the newest LXT impact driver when I can pick up the XGT stuff for a bit cheaper. So that's the reason why I don't have that one yet. But this is the 172 or the XGT19. Now the big difference between this one and the old version, which I have right here, which is the XGT16, is it's going to be a slightly more compact body. You can see there a little more compact. And looking at the front here, it's going to be slightly, shorter here, and a little bit longer to account for that shorter head there, which gives it quite a bit of advantage. But there is one big downside: it's a bit less powerful than the outgoing model. So that's going to be your one downside there. Whereas I think the XGT16 is just one of the best impact drivers I've ever owned. It's extremely well balanced, lots of power, great RPMs, and it's very, very affordable now. It can be had for under $75 on eBay. Of course, they're not made anymore, but they are an excellent choice, just an all-rounder when it comes to value. Whereas the XDT19 is definitely going to be your newer, definitely feels a bit smoother as well too. And of course, it's got some other small features to it, where they got rid of a lot of the LED lights on the bottom here. Not that big of a deal. Now, if you're asking me, hey, which one of these impact drivers is the best overall value when it comes to price, power, just overall feature set? Easily the XDT16. If you want to spend a little more money, you can get the XDT19. That's also a great choice as well too. But when it comes to overall value here, I'm definitely going to give it to the 16. Just the overall very affordable price that these can be found at, as well as just the overall amount of features and the just raw power of this impact driver is fantastic. All right, let's move on to the XGT impact drivers. As far as I'm aware, this is all the XGT drivers that are available right now in the world. Now, there's not really that many that are out right now. I think there might be a new one coming out here pretty soon. Of course, they're making some that are, kind of like USA, European spec, that they pull off some of the features from the Japanese versions, which is okay. I think that's going to be the newer versions. We're going to kind of see that. because unfortunately you can't use all of the features of the current Japanese versions anyways. They do have like Bluetooth, where you have to buy the Bluetooth adapter for these, and it doesn't work in anywhere else but Japan. It's also in Japanese, and you can't even download the app regardless anyways, so that's going to be your one downside. Now this is going to be the Japanese version, the TD002G. Comes in many different colors, which is why I bought it, of course, and it can be had for just under $200 with, of course, importing it from Japan. It's not a bad choice, but I don't think it's definitely the worst. I mean, I wouldn't think it's the best XGT impact driver out there. Definitely not the worst though either. The worst one is going to easily be the newest US version. This is going to be the GDTO2. Now this one's kind of strange because it lacks a lot of features that the Japanese version has, and it's technically the same model, sort of. It's kind of more just like a stripped down model. They share very similar model numbers. It's a very unusual choice, but it's going to be about $400 in a kit. That's the only way to get this impact driver as of right now. This one I would definitely say avoid this one. Very, lacking in features, kind of expensive. You can pick up the Japanese version, which also has IP56 protection on it, which gives you protection against dust and water for even cheaper than you can pick up that one. So it doesn't really make any sense to me. However, though, surprisingly, I think the first generation of the XGT impact drivers right here, this is going to be the GTD01, is going to be one of your best options for just overall impact driver use. It's got some of the best speed, very good power. The DST is a bit confusing what that is. If you're wondering what DST is, it's a dual spring technology. So when an impact driver, when it's engaging itself, when it's, it's basically rotating, and when it slips with that hammer, then hits that hammer, it's using a spring to, of course, make that motion happen. Now, DST uses dual springs there. So when it's under even more load, it actually activates a much more stiffer spring to allow you to, of course, get more power when you have that hit on that impact driver. So it's a pretty cool new system, but in reality, though, from my testing, and if you want to check out my other videos, I did actual reviews on these with full, testing and comparisons. You can definitely see that the GDT2 does not have the right amount of speed as some of the older impact drivers. I don't know what is exactly, if it's maybe some settings that maybe need to adjust via Bluetooth, but it just does not keep up with the older impact drivers for some odd reason. I'm not sure why. Now, of course, this is going to be your cheapest XGT impact driver to pick up right now. Because it's sold in the kit right now in the US for over 2 years, you can find them relatively easy on eBay for right around $100. Of course, though, your batteries are going to be the expensive part. The battery's going to run you about $70 to $100, depending when you pick one up. And then a charger is going to run you about another $100 as well, too. So it's definitely not a cheap, overall tool to find. Whereas if you can find them in a deal with the kits, with a drill and another battery, I picked up mine for right around $222 with a hack at Home Depot. So honestly, the one that I use the most right now for my everyday use is going to be the GDT01. I just think it has the best balance, got the most features, and it just has a great amount of power and speed compared to the other two options here from Makita. It's also going to be one of the cheaper ones too, so it's also great to have as well for that. Now, if we're talking about overall power, when it comes to impact drivers, yes, definitely worth to go to the XGT. It's definitely going to be more pro grade, and not that now the LXT is not pro grade, but with the new 4-volt battery system, it's designed to handle more heat. It's designed to handle a lot more abuse, and it's just an overall fantastic impact driver for that. But it's not cheap. Now, if you're saying, hey, Indiana, what's the best, option to pick up for if I just want to have, a good impact driver, but I don't want to spend a lot of money? That's relatively easy. I would say definitely go for the XGT 16. That's going to be under $100 pretty easily. You can find an LXT battery relatively cheap, and LXT chargers also cheap as well too, especially when we pick up some of the deals at Home Depot, Acme Tools. A lot of those places have great deals. So guys, that's going to be my two picks for just the overall best Makita impact drivers. Whether you're an LXT or you're an XGT, here you go. XGT 16 and the TD01 from Makita XGT. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. What your favorite Makita impact drivers are. For right now, these are the best ones that I currently can find and think that are the best right now. So let me know in the comments, guys, what you think and which one you guys use most regularly. So guys, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great day.